The wildfires in California continue to grow, prompting even new evacuations. Right now, at last count, almost 100,000 people have been ordered to leave, with another 80,000 on standby to evacuate at any moment.
It's very scary. Having to leave everything behind can take a big toll on your mental health, not to mention how it impacts your children, your grandchildren, and generally speaking, how do we speak to our kids about these scary but very realistic scenarios? So thank goodness we have our parenting and mental health expert, Dr. Cheryl Ziegler, here joining us. Dr. Ziegler, so first and foremost, how do you explain an evacuation to children? And coming up, we're going to have tactical tips with the Red Cross, but psychologically, emotionally, what would you recommend?
So, I think kids have seen these images, I think of any age, right? What's happening in California, but we have these kinds of images in our own ways in Colorado. And I think kids know that this isn't just somewhere far off, like this could affect us here at home. So I think one of the things to do is you do want to be proactive in saying, life is about being prepared for anything. That means the good stuff, right? There's good things that'll happen. Sometimes we have to be prepared for it to be able to receive it. And there's also, sometimes there's scary things. And that's why we practice things like at school. You practice fire drills for these purposes. Maybe at home, we can practice some of these things. And so I think the first step is just setting them up for that message of, in life, you got to be prepared for anything, and that can be positive, negative. And so we're going to do that. Maybe this is also a good reminder to all of us. We should do this.
How do you kind of help, right, as like parents, we always want to help our children get through the hardest of times. The even idea, if it's not happening to us, but the idea of losing your home, losing everything you know and love, it for kids and for young ones too. It's as simple as like your toys and your belongings, but how do you grapple with losing everything?
Yeah, I saw today a little post of a teddy bear that somebody was like, please, I'm desperately looking for one of these. It's very hard, but I think one of the things, we hear it can sound like a cliche, but home is what we create. And I think that's a reminder to kids because it also removes you from the material. So of course, yes, I'm not minimizing losing your home, and every single one of your belongings is devastating. And I think there's that resiliency piece that says, we will pick up, we will create new memories, we will find another teddy. And no, it's not the teddy that you've had since you were born. And that is irreplaceable, but we will pick up and we'll find something else. And I think, in some ways, there is no other option in those moments. The only option is to be optimistic or looking for the positive. And I have seen personally dozens and dozens of those kinds of videos where people are just thrilled. I saw one today where she was just happy to find the earrings that were in her family that her daughters wore for their wedding, and all around her was literally her house to the ground, but she was weeping because she found this one set of earrings. So you focus on what you do have. You focus on that home is where your family is, and that we rebuild. We fall, things break, things get lost, and we rebuild, and that's an important message.
What about after experiencing such a big loss? How do you reassure your children about the future?
Yeah. Yes, and I think that's what we see. You see that anxiety, you see that fear that can grow in people where life feels really unstable. And I think it's a balance of saying to kids, we will be rebuilding and we're strong, and we don't ever know what the future brings for us. But look, we're getting through this thing. There isn't anything we can't get through. And I think that's an honest message because every one of those people, this isn't the very last horrible thing. Hopefully it's the worst thing they've ever gone through, but it's not the last grief, tragic loss that they're going to have in life. And so you say, gosh, we just can hope that this is the worst, but look, this probably is the worst, and we will make it through. We'll make it through other things, and there will be hard times ahead of us. It's all about our attitude, our preparedness, our worldview, that life means that there's a whole bunch of everything. There's lots of opportunities and there's losses along the way. That is life. That's a full life.
Wow. Sad. All
Very
of it
sad.
so much, but life-saving and very important information. Thank you for that, Dr. Ziegler.